What's up, guys? I wanted to talk about one of my favorite players in the NFL draft, Jackson Powers Johnson, the center from Oregon. He visited the Bears yesterday for his top 30 visit, and I just want to give a quick update and talk about his chances of ending up a Chicago Bear. Let's get right into it. First, the Bears are hosting their local pro day. They started that earlier today, and I'm in the process of gathering as many of the names as I can for that and continuing to compile my top 30 visits. Stay tuned for that, but I want to talk quickly about Jackson Powers Johnson. Most of you know he's one of my favorite players in the draft. He visited Hallis Hall yesterday, and he actually watched the eclipse while he was in town. I met with JPJ 3 times down at the Senior Bowl, and he was the player that impressed me the most during my week in Alabama. To me, I believe he's easily worth the first round pick, but there's something interesting happening around the NFL. I've talked about it a little bit, but the talent in this draft from pick number 20 to somewhere deep in the 50s is pretty similar. A lot of guys are bunched up in that range, and teams are going to have them ranked differently depending on whose team board you're looking at. The fact that Jackson Powers Johnson plays the center position, and there are so many offensive tackles, wide receivers, pass rushers, and cornerbacks in the first round, rumors are that Jackson Powers Johnson and even Zach Frazier could both fall to day two and be second round picks. All of those positions are considered premium. Meanwhile, most teams in the NFL do not consider center a premium position. But usually, when you're picking late in the first round, taking the number one center could be safer than taking the fourth or fifth offensive tackle or even the fourth or fifth wide receiver. The problem is this year's draft is loaded at offensive tackle and wide receiver. So the fourth tackle could end up being Olu Fashanu or Troy Fontenot. And the fourth or fifth receiver could be Brian Thomas Jr. or Adonai Mitchell. There are 7 to 8 wide receivers and offensive tackles that could go in the first round this year, as well as at least a handful of pass rushers. And most teams in the NFL simply value those positions over the center position, especially offensive tackle. If they're going to invest in the offensive line and there's a tackle prospect they have graded out similarly, they're probably going to lean that way over JPJ. So if that happens, the top centers in this year's draft could fall to round two. And if that happens, I would love it if Ryan Poles was able to trade up for Jackson Powers Johnson or even Zach Frazier. They are easily my top two centers in this year's draft class. And this is going to be something to watch and make the draft even more interesting. The talent late in the first round and deep into day two will make this draft very intriguing. There's some really good players that are going to still be on the board in day two, and I expect a lot of trades to happen, probably more than usual. When it comes to landing Jackson Powers Johnson, I think it depends on two things. First, how far he falls in the draft, and second, is if we can get a second round pick by trading down from pick number 9. If we don't have a second round pick, we're probably not going to be able to land him even if he does fall, unless Poles trades up from 75. But we need both of those things to happen for this to be a possibility. Stay tuned, guys. I'm staying really busy right now, working on a ton of videos behind the scenes, but I wanted to get this quick update out for you guys. Stay tuned. Remember to hit that like button for me. Let me know what you guys think about JPJ. And until next time, bear down.